We are set. Let's begin with our 3 cleansing breaths. Inhale through your nose, filling up the lungs. Exhale with a big sigh. Inhale again, filling up. Exhale with a sigh. Third time, fill up all the way. And empty completely. Coming into Ujjayi breathing. In and out through the nose. Long, slow breath rhythms. In these first few breaths, do a scan of your physical body. Maybe beginning at your head or at your feet. And just scan through the body in the next 2 or 3 breaths, observing any sensations. Then move your attention to your headspace, noticing your mental body, what's going on in your headspace, and have 2 or 3 breaths where you just acknowledge any thoughts that are really predominant in your mind. And thirdly, we'll check in with our spiritual selves, the spiritual body. This can be harder to access, and sometimes at the beginning of class we might not be tapped into that, but notice any emotional residue. This could be a feeling of loneliness from this isolation we've had, that loss of community. There could be anxiety about the state of things. Those all communicate spiritual unsteadiness. You don't have to change anything, you just notice. Then we let go of any spiritual unsteadiness. We let go of any mental attachments we have, and let go of any sort of physical tension that we notice is there, and we come back to the breath for 3 to 5 more breaths. After your next exhale, blink your eyes open. Let's do a little preliminary work for our shoulders. Just rolling your shoulders forward, up, and back. As you do so, you're engaging the muscles right between your shoulder blades, still breathing rhythmically. Then bring your fingers to the tips of your shoulders and draw circles with the elbows. It's the same motion, it just feels a little bigger because the elbows are moving. You're still breathing rhythmically. And lastly, if you join me for class on Wednesday, this will be familiar. Make tight fists with your hands. Reach your arms up. Then open your hands. Let the hands rotate as they come down. Fists, I call this part candlestick. And then open as the arms circle. Tight fists, strong arms, and then open. A couple more on your own. Now let's put those 3 motions together. Begin with the shoulders, then elbows, then candlesticks. Shoulders, elbows, candlesticks. Last one, little, bigger, biggest. Inhale, sweep your arms above head, palms face one another. Sitting up tall, breathe in and breathe out. Spill your body over to the right side, catching your weight on the right, but keeping your left hip anchored to the floor. Option to turn that palm forward or rotate your gaze up toward the sky. Breathe in and breathe out. Reach down with your hip to bring your spine back up to vertical. Exhale the left hand down. Inhale, both arms up. Release, left hand. You're still long and tall through the right side. Spill over. Keeping your right hip connected to the floor. Breathe in and out. Option to rotate that palm forward, maybe your gaze up toward the sky. Another breath. As you inhale, bring your body back up to vertical by reaching down with the hip and release that hand. Left hand to the right knee, right hand behind. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, rotate your body. Breathe. One more inhale. You have a strong focus in the direction of your twist. As you exhale, release. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, rotate. Looking in the direction of the twist, the eyes tell the body what to do. Last breath in. And a breath out, unwind. Let's come to tabletop. Tabletop yogis, I offer two options for you today. You can take cat and cow, moving through flexion and extension of your spine. And maybe you do a few of those. Or you can take a circle of your rib cage, letting your head and ribs move in opposition to one another. That's going to be my choice today, the rib cage circle. You can take any improvisational movement that feels good, waking up your spine here. We've already done a little movement in the 6 directions of the spine. Now you're looking for your specific places that feel tight and need a little extra mobility. One more round of breath. And return to neutral. Let's come into downward dog. Tuck the toes and lift your hips up and back, pedaling through the feet. Shifting weight from hip to hip, still breathing very mindfully. Another breath in. As you exhale, let your heels settle. Heels reaching toward the floor, hips reaching up toward the sky. Breathe in. And breathe out. Shift forward into high plank. Pause there for a moment. Create a parallel line of energy to the floor. Sometimes the hips pop up. Sometimes the belly drops down. Create a line of energy by making any adjustments you need. Sometimes that means belly button up toward the sky. Sometimes it means tucking the tailbone a little bit. Sometimes it means pressing the rib cage up towards the sky if your shoulders are hunched. One more breath in. Lower your knees, and on your exhale, lower your chest to the floor. 3 rounds of cobra, waking up spinal extension. Inhale, extend. Exhale, release back to neutral. Legs are heavy as you extend the spine. And release. One more time. And release. Table or plank on your inhale. Downward dog. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let's move through that sequence a couple more times. Inhale, high plank. Optional knees, exhale, low plank. Cobra on your inhale. Release to the floor or move directly to downward dog. One more time through. Breathe in, high plank. Optional knees as you lower to the floor. Cobra on your inhale. And find downward dog. Breathe in. And breathe out. Walk your feet, or your hands back to your feet, excuse me. So you're at the back of the mat, a little different than I normally cue. Bend your knees in your inner forward fold, spine draping over the legs. Option to interlace arms. Lots of breath here, opening up your back space. Breathe in. And breathe out. Separate your feet to the edges of your mat and come down into a squat, Malasana squat. We're going to move through this hip opening, also core stabilizing series. From the squat, and it can be knees wide or knees together, you teeter forward, rocking over your toes into something like child's pose. It's not quite child's pose, you're still tucked in the toes, but you have a child's pose shape in the spine. From here, you use a lot of core strength to bring your right foot forward toward the front of your mat. The back knee can stay down as you lift the chest. Breathe in and breathe out. You also have the option of lifting that back knee up. Reach your right hand back. Lower your elbows down. I forgot a step. Reach the right hand way forward. Bring your body back up and reach your right hand all the way back, touching your back leg. Right hand forward, left foot back, you're in plank. We're reversing our motion, coming into that childlike pose, or a like child's pose, and then back to your squat. And as you squat, you can keep the knees parallel or they can open wide. Let's try the other side slowly. Teeter forward into your long child's pose. Lunge your left foot forward. You're like a panther bringing that foot forward. Lower the elbows down. Left hand reaches forward. Bring your body back up. Left hand reaches back. Left hand comes forward one more time. Find plank. Long child's pose. And squat. Right side, long child's pose. Lunge right foot forward. Lower elbows. Right hand reaches forward. Come back up. Right hand sweeps all the way back. Come forward. Plank. Long child's pose. Squat. Second side. Long child's pose. Left leg lunge. Elbows down. Left hand forward. Back up. Left arm over. All the way back. Plank. Long child's pose. And squat. One more time through, I have one more variation to add in. Long child's pose. Lunge, right foot. Bring your right foot across and tap your hip to the floor just for a moment. It's like pigeon, and then you're right back. Lower your elbows down. Right hand forward. Torso up. Right hand back. Right hand forward. Plank. Long child's pose. Squat. Last time. Long child's pose. Lunge. Lift and tap the left hip down just for a beat and come back. Elbows down. Left arm forward. Torso up. Left hand back. Back to the plank. Long child's pose. And squat. From here, let's take traditional child's pose or wide knee variation, big toes together, tops of the feet, forehead to the floor. Breathe. Find your breath in the back space, creating movement around the low spine. Another breath in, and a breath out. Come forward into table and back to downward dog. Transitioning to standing. Breathe in, and breathe out. Walk your feet to your hands. Top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, lower. Drop your tail and slowly come up to standing. It's our first time coming up. Your hands can be on the thighs. And breathe once you're standing. Let's do a sun salutation. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Half lift. Vinyasa, high to low plank. You can use your knees going through table. You can skip it and go plank dog. Meet me in downward dog for 3 breaths. Another inhale. Exhale your feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower. Little bend to the knees as you come up to standing, arms above head. Hands to the heart. Round 2. Inhale, arms up. Dive forward. Half lift. High plank. You can step or hop if hopping is in your practice. Slide forward, cobra. Downward dog. Breathe in. And breathe out. 2 more on your own. The arms are spiraling. Heels reaching down, hips reaching up. Last exhale, step or hop your feet to your hands. Half lift. Release. Sweep up to standing. Hands to the heart. Last time. On your own. Three breaths in downward dog. When you finish your third exhale, step or hop your feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Release. Sweep up to standing. Hands return to the heart. Pause, reclaim your breath. All right, we have some more fun in store here, but let's get into our warrior series. I'm going to face this way, so I can start with my left foot stepping back, right foot stays forward. Stepping right away into your warrior two. Your hips are both rotating clockwise in their hip socket. You have two strong arches of the feet. Arms are engaged and strong. Breathe in and breathe out. Flip the front palm, reach up to the sky, inhale. Exhale, stay there for an extra breath in. And breath out, warrior two. Side angle, reach down toward the earth, opposite hand up toward the sky. Palm faces the space in front of you and you rotate that whole side body from shoulder to hip open. One more breath in. Look down for stability. Follow your right hand up toward the sky. Breathe in. Breathe out, warrior two. Step one or two steps, feet come together. Second side. Step your right foot back. Then check out your pelvis. Immediately rotating the hips deeply in the hip socket. Both going counterclockwise this time. Create strong arches. Inhale. Exhale. Gaze over your front hand, reach to sky. Stay there for an extra breath. Find a little longer line of energy from your bottom hip up to your top arm. Exhale back through warrior two. Reach to earth and sky. One hand down, one hand up. And your palm faces the space in front of you and rotate that whole side open. Shoulder, ribs, hip. That's my tight side, I can tell. Breathe in. Notice any difference between your right and left. Breathe out. One more time, reach left arm up to sky. Back to warrior two and step feet to the front. Excellent. Again, step your left foot back. A little narrower stance for Trikonasana. A little micro bend to the front knee. Inhale, extend the arms. Shift your hips as you reach the right arm forward, coming into your side lean. Press into your big toe, pull the hip back in space, and that straightens the knee for you. Breathe in. And breathe out. Enjoy one more inhale here. Then bend the front knee. Hand to hip as you bring your body up. Step the feet together, trade sides. Right foot steps back, a little narrower than warrior two. Inhale. You can have a micro bend in that front knee. Exhale. Move that hip toward the opposite inner thigh as you recline the spine. Breathe in. And breathe out. Two more. Rotating your body open towards the space in front of you. Last inhale, rebend your front leg. Hand to hip, inhale, bring your body up. And step the feet together. One more time, the left foot steps back. Narrowest stance yet. So we went big, littlest words. And then square your hips this time, not to the side of your mat, but to the front of your mat. Breathe in, bend front knee, squeeze your back. Breathe out, hinge forward over your front leg, over that bent front knee. Now notice if you have 70% of your weight in your front foot. If so, shift some weight into your back foot as well. Move your whole pelvis back in space. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keep pressing into your right big toe and pull your pubis back in space. One more inhale. And an exhale, rebend your front knee, hands to hips, squeeze your back, and that squeeze pulls your spine back up to vertical, trade legs. Right foot's back, left foot forward. Your narrowest wide leg stance. Breathe in, squeeze your back, breathe out, fold over a bent front leg. Inhale. Then redistribute your weight. You're probably 70-30. Shift your weight back by moving your hips back so you're 50-50. Breathe in and breathe out. Press into your left big toe to move your pelvis back. Another inhale. And exhale, bend the front knee, hands to your hips, squeeze the back, that's engagement. That helps you lift your spine up. And step the feet together. One more variation, take that same narrow-ish stance with your hips facing the front. Breathe in and breathe out, fold. The left hand comes to the floor. Your shoulders remain square to the floor. Again, redistribute your weight so you have 50-50 weight on your feet. Breathe in and breathe out, rotate your spine toward the right, toward your front leg. Think of your rib cage rotating toward leg. Press into your big toe as you move your hips back in space. One more breath in. Breath out, the right hand down. Bend the front knee, hands to hips. Inhale, torso up. Switch feet. Set it up with the hips square. Start with 50-50 weight. Breathe in and breathe out. As you go forward, that weight naturally just redistributes 70-30. Redistribute it back 50-50. So you move your weight and your energy back. Breathe in, right hand on the floor. Breathe out, rotate your body. Keep moving the energy of your hips back, crown of the head forward, ribs rotating. One more breath in. Breath out, release the left hand, hands to hips. Inhale, torso up. Exhale, feet together. Sweep your arms above head. Interlace your hands but soften your shoulders. Get tall and long through the body for a breath in. Hips to the left, torso to the right. Then breathe. Pressing down through the left side of your foot, especially the big toe. One more inhale. Stay there for the exhale. Inhale, bring your body up. Pause, re-soften your shoulders. Get tall, inhale. Hips right, torso left. Then as you go, create a downward line of energy through the pelvis into the big toe. It's this sort of upward push-pull energy that you find, you create. Inhale, bring your body back up. Stay tall, stay long. You can bring the forearms to the top of the head or the hands to your hips. I don't always give that variation, but you're welcome to do that. Arms could also stay long. Inhale, draw up on the front of your body. Hips move forward as you extend your spine back. Keep breathing as you go, looking where you're going. One more inhale. And an exhale. Come forward. Release your hands. All right, we're taking a sun salutation to get into downward dog for some fun stuff. Low to the floor, but also a little balancing. Here we go. Inhale your arm. Inhale. Exhale, chair. Inhale your arms up. Stay here. I forgot we have a little chair action before we get into our next sequence. Keep breathing, getting stronger through the pelvis, lower in the pelvis. Stronger through the core and through your back. One more inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Take a vinyasa and meet me in downward dog. You can step, hop, jump. You can go plank dog, skipping all of that. You can float, doing any other variation. Maybe a handstand is in your practice. You can handstand through your vinyasa. Breathe in and breathe out. Lower down onto your knees, just for a preparation here. Come down onto the forearms and use your forearms. You can interlace your hands as a base of support. So you're pressing down into the forearms to really engage the muscles around the shoulder. Then come into downward dog, or dolphin. So it's downward dog on your forearms, which is dolphin. Now walk your feet towards your hands, and you're working to get your pelvis over the shoulders. Bending your knees can help you find that. As you do that, think about your back ribs moving towards the space behind you. Not so much your butt, but the back ribs. Keep breathing. Another inhale. And an exhale. Come back to downward dog, however works best for you to make that transition. From here, lift your right leg, bend the knee and stack your pelvis. Exhale, sweep it through to a warrior two. Windmill your arms up. We're entering the pose differently than we've done before, but we've been here before. Breathe in and breathe out. Interlace your hands behind your back. Squeeze your shoulders together. Inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. You're going forward about to 2 o'clock. So you're not going directly forward, you're not going towards the knee, you're going somewhere in between and squeezing the shoulders together above head. Inhale. And exhale. If the shoulders squeezing together up above isn't available, keep them down at the hips. Take another breath in. And a breath out. Lead with your thumbs. Hands come down and your hips or torso comes up. Inhale. You can look to the sky here as you reach your knuckles down. Pause for a moment. You still have this counterclockwise rotation in both hips. Another breath in. And a breath out, fold. Now we're moving between these two positions. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time, inhale up, and release your hands. Right hand to sky for a breath. Cartwheel all the way to the floor and pause. From here, take that right leg and hover it. Then reach your right foot across the body underneath. You can put the foot on the floor, or for a challenge, lift your foot up off the floor and lift the left arm up off the floor. So the foot can be down or not, but the left arm comes up. Breathe in and breathe out. One more inhale and an exhale. Step the right foot forward to a lunge. Pivot onto the blade edge of your back foot. So now we're facing the opposite direction. Your hips drop down low. Now we're moving between this position, low, hips, squeeze your hips together, high hips. Exhale, low. Inhale, high. Exhale, low. Inhale, high. Last time. And up. Circle that arm all the way over. Find plank. Downward dog. You can take a vinyasa there. Breathe in. And breathe out. Look forward. Step or hop your feet forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Return to chair. Hips are low as the torso comes up. And stand up, Tadasana. Take a moment, yogis. Take a breath. We'll prepare to do that fun sequence on the second side. Start with an inhale. Exhale, chair. Creasing in the hips. Sweep your arms up. Here you can think about weight distribution. 50% of your weight in the heels, 50% of the weight in the ball mounts of the feet. 100% engagement of the legs. Last breath in. And breath out, fold. Half lift, inhale. Vinyasa, meet me in downward dog. From downward dog, breathe in. And breathe out, big toes together. Lift your left leg, bend the knee, and stack the pelvis. Enjoy another inhale. Sweep your left foot through to a warrior two. Entering the familiar posture from a different way. Check out your alignment once you arrive. Breathe in and breathe out. Left arm reaches up to the sky. And exhale back down. Wrap your hands behind your back, interlacing, if you can, the opposite thumb on top. Breathe in, extend it. And breathe out, hinge forward. Not quite directly forward, more to your 11 o'clock. Now here, the hands can stay on your hips, or you can squeeze shoulders together. Breathe. Legs are still very strong for another inhale. And exhale, thumbs down. Inhale your body up. And exhale, squeeze down with the arms as you reach the center of your chest up. And exhale, we move through those positions. Low. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to fold low. Inhale to lift up. One more time. And inhale up. Release your hands, left arm to sky once again. Cartwheel all the way to the floor. Pause there. Pivot over the ball of your foot to the blade edge of that foot. And you bring your right trochanter, that's that bone on the outside of your hip, down toward the floor. Inhale, sweep left arm overhead, squeezing the hips together. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last time you lift, circle the arm all the way overhead and find a lunge. Walk the foot across the body, or lift the foot up, sorry. Then move it across the body. Placing the foot on the floor or lifting it up. This is like Trikonasana. Right arm up to the sky. Another breath in. And a breath out. Hand to the floor. First step to plank or lunge, and then to plank. Optional vinyasa, we'll meet in downward dog. Breathe. Another inhale. And exhale. Lift the right leg. Bend the knee, stack the pelvis. You can flip the dog if you choose. Coming into pigeon, your right foot can step forward. I should say the right knee. Take your pigeon variation, maybe putting a pillow under the hip, squaring your pelvis toward the femur, and lowering down as you choose. Breathe once you get there. Another variation, and this is a request, so thank you so much for those of you who have requested and asked for modifications through social media. A variation on pigeon, always available. Whichever leg comes forward in pigeon, you cross that leg over the femur, and you can hold the opposite femur. It achieves the same lengthening sensation through the part of the body. You can also do this against a wall. It's a very restorative way to achieve pigeon, or achieve the length that pigeon provides. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, so I have to remember to come out after one more breath. On your next inhale, bring your torso up. From your pigeon, take a high plank. Optional vinyasa, we'll meet in downward dog. Second side, lift your left leg, bend the knee in three-legged dog, or flip the dog. Breathing, whichever variation you chose. Another inhale, and pigeon. So this might be the pigeon you know. Take a breath or two, setting that pigeon up. If you're wanting the alternate pigeon, it's your left ankle crossing over your thigh. For cyclists, I'm a cyclist, our hips get tight doing that repetitive motion. This is an excellent post-cycling restorative pose. Also desk sitters, if you're working from home and spending a lot of time sitting, this is great for opening up the hips. Another breath in, and a breath out. Transitioning yogis, back to plank. High plank, low plank, cobra as you're ready, and downward dog, and that is of course optional. When you arrive in downward dog, breathe in and breathe out. One more inhale. A big little finish before we come down to the floor. Inhale the high plank. Come to your left side plank, so your left hand stays where it is. And you can come to the plank variation we did before with the foot in front. We're sustaining the plank. Your hips lift up high, so you're actually in a side bend of the spine. Underside of the obliques are engaged. Top side is lengthening. Breathe in. Breathe out, back to plank. Finding your right side plank. Shift your weight to the right as you lift up, and you can bring that top foot forward for the variation. Again, the bottom hip lifts up, and that's the oblique engagement we're seeking. Another breath in, and breath out. Through Vinyasa, we meet in downward dog one very last time. Inhale. And exhale. Come forward into plank and down onto the belly. Pause for a moment there. We're opening up the shoulders a little bit here, yogis, and I'll turn so you can see. And I did say we don't need a prop, but you may want a pillow for the next pose. But first, crocodile. Your legs can be long, I just don't have the room. Cross your arms one over the other. It doesn't matter, just notice which arm is on top. Then let your throat rest on your biceps, and that gives some gentle pressure to the outer deltoids. It also gives some pressure on your throat in an interesting way. It's safe. You're getting a little massage for those front throat muscles. Double check which arm's on top. Come up and gently change arms. And you may notice I'm on the blade edge of my hand, pinky edge of the hand. And really let the weight of your upper body rest on your arms. It's hard to talk because I'm bearing weight on my voice box. Gently unwind. Here's where you may or may not like a pillow or a block. Put a block or a pillow or not near to your right ear. Extend your right arm. I'm going to change vantage points again. Right arm is extended. Bend your left leg and roll to the side. So you're pinning the arm underneath you. For a little more intensity, you can slide your left hand behind the back. That just redistributes your weight a little bit. Breathe. After you exhale, gently release. Move your pillow over to your other side. Extend left arm, bend right leg, and roll to the side. I'm out of space again. And if the variation suited you, you can slide your right hand behind the back. One more inhale. And an exhale. Gently release. Transitioning a bit differently, come to your belly, but then sweep around, and we'll come to a seated position for a moment. Soles of the feet together. Sit up tall, take an inhale. And exhale, hinge forward, keeping the collarbones wide at first. Breathe in, and if you choose, you can bow your spine just at the end. Inhale, bring your body up. Extend both legs out wide. So this will feel like a two-legged Trikonasana, Upavishta Konasana. Sitting up on your sit bones, it's easy to roll back and let your spine round here. Come forward on your sit bones, and that might mean your knees bend a little bit. That's totally fine. Take your arms out to the side, sit up tall. Take your right arm up and over toward the foot. And it doesn't have to go toward the foot directly. You can reach more to the side. Again, the palm can be facing the front of the space. Gaze can rotate up. The opposite hip is reaching down to the floor. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale your body up. Belly button to big toe. Left arm towards right foot. Breathe in and breathe out, reach. As you reach, you may find the foot, you may not. Don't reach the arm out of the socket to get the foot there. Breathe in and breathe out, drape your spine. Now your spine, both shoulders, are squaring toward the floor. Inhale the body up, and you can windmill the arm to come back up. Take that to the other side. Sitting up tall on your sitting bones. There's some work here to sit up tall. And again, the knees don't have to be straight. Right arm comes up and over. As you go, the palm can stay facing the space in front of you. Your ribs are in. Your hip is down. Breathe. On your next inhale, bring your body back up. Right hand rotates, belly button toward big toe. Breathe in and breathe out, fold towards that leg, shoulders square to the floor. Again, the opposite hip is still connected to the floor. One more inhale. And an exhale. Windmill your arms back up. And here you can extend forward over the legs. Flexing your feet makes this a little more intense. Pointing your feet gives you a little different experience. Lengthen your spine, so you're drawing your pubis up towards your belly button and sternum to create length through the low back. It also emphasizes the length down the inner thighs you're probably experiencing. Toes and knees are still up toward the sky. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale your body up. Use your hands to assist a knee bend. If you're using the wide edge of your mat, spin around so we can lay all the way down. We'll take Navasana to get to the floor. And your Navasana can be a dynamic hold here, chest lifting up. You can extend your legs. Or you can join me in extending. Inhale. Exhale, return. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. The next inhale takes you all the way down to the floor. Stretch your arms overhead. Hug your knees into your chest. You can rock side to side if that feels good, or forward and back. Keep your right knee, extend the left. Heel resting on the floor. Breathe in. And breathe out, change legs. One more breath in. Change legs again. Place your right foot on the floor. Use your foot to lift your hips, guiding them to the right, so your knee easily drapes across the body. Now notice your opposite shoulder. It wants to come along for the ride, but you're resisting, keeping the back ribs anchored. Not just the shoulder, but your ribs. Last breath in. And breath out, gently unwind. Re-square your hips, exchange legs. Lift the hips to move them to the side, drape the knee across the body. Remember, the ribs stay anchored to get a deep stretch and lengthening action through your low back. One more inhale. And an exhale. Return to your back. Double knee hug, yogis. Inversion of choice. That might be taking your legs up toward the sky. If there's a wall near to you, you can put your legs near to the wall and just let them rest there. We also did a preparation for headstand or shoulder stand. When you go into head or shoulder stand, think about your back ribs, your lowest ribs. It's that place that really supports your body to keep the weight off your neck. Our neck does a lot of worrying for us and carries a lot of tension. So in this last inversion, only if headstands in your practice, please don't try it at home if you haven't been guided through it in class. But if you are doing it, think about your back ribs moving towards the space behind you. And it's the strength of your back ribs that then allows you to move your legs up above the hips. And again, it's this energy in your back ribs, right there. If I could demonstrate, I almost fell over trying to release it and then re-engage. A released back rib, a re-engaged back rib. One more breath in, and breath out. If you're in shoulder stand, if you're in headstand, take child's pose. If you're in shoulder stand, take a fish pose. Elbows down, top of the head as you open up the throat, and you can open the legs to Baddha Konasana or extend the legs and arms. Yogi's choice. Breathe. One more inhale. Exhale, gently release. Happy baby or yogi's choice finish. Whatever works for you to wrap up your practice. You can Supta Baddha Konasana, just hold your feet together. Anandasana, happy baby. Any other variation that suits you tonight. If you were doing something that was asymmetrical, give yourself a couple breaths on your second side. We're near the end of my time with you, so I invite you to come into Shavasana, extend your legs, let them fall out to the side. Similar, extend your arms, let the palms be open, reflecting the state of openness through the body. You might move your head side to side. And let's finish the way we began, scanning the physical body. We did a physical practice, so the physical body is in the forefront of our attention. So notice what's there sensationally. Maybe spaces of freedom. Maybe there's still spaces of tension or restriction, and that's okay. It takes time to undo that. Then do a scan of your head space. Notice what's lingering there, if there are thoughts that you're still attached to. Just notice them and maybe imagine they're clouds in the sky that gradually pass with every breath. Then lastly, check in with your spiritual layer. That deep sense of self that might be a connection to something beyond the self, a cosmic connection. It might be a communal connection to someone else. I know who's in class and I know your energies, and I'm sending my energy to you virtually. Not even virtually, many of us are in a similar geographic space. So think of those who you share space with and how you can connect with them and how that enhances your spirit. And for the next couple minutes, let those parts of yourself, the mind, the body, and the head, the mind, body, and spirit, there we go. Let those three things dwell together in Shavasana. The breath is a unifying point that can keep them together if the mind starts to wander, or if the body starts to nag, or if the spirit starts to lag. Use the breath to invigorate the spirit, to quiet the mind, and to settle the body. Tomorrow I'm doing a hands-free practice, an all-standing practice. It's still a flow practice, but you can join me on Instagram tomorrow for that. Hands-free practice. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll leave you with a mantra, and we'll finish with an Om. I invite you to join me. Swasti prajabhya paripalyantam nayena margena mahi mahisha go brahmanibhya shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. One Om. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.